Hello and welcome to For Your Journey. In this episode, District Apostle Kolb will answer the question, what is adoption?
So in recent months, we did 3 months worth of 4-year journeys on the sacraments. We did a holy baptism and a holy sealing and a holy communion, and something that's related to that, but not a sacrament, is adoption. And that's something that we don't hear too much about because we may not see them or experience them that often in our divine services or in our congregation, So I wanted to find out what are adoptions, how does it relate to the sacraments, and does it apply to all of them, or what's the deal with adoption? What is it and what is it not?
Okay, it's a good question because it's changed.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, the adoption was for a person baptized in another church, and when they came to our church and they said they believe in our faith, then we adopted them, and that made that other baptism from another church a new apostolic baptism. In a sense, we said it ratified it.
Yeah. So it's not, so what is it now then?
We have the understanding that really nobody is acting, neither church is acting, God is acting. Mm-hmm. God is the one who washes away the original sin. So we acknowledge the other church, the act that they have done on a soul, that God washed away the sin, because if they have done it with water and in the triune name of God, as Jesus specified in Matthew 28.
Okay.
So if a soul comes from another faith and these requirements are met, that they were baptized in the triune name of God and with water, then we accept that baptism.
Whether they were dunked or submerged or sprinkled, like that doesn't matter.
Not consequential.
The form doesn't matter per se. Okay. All right.
But then getting back to your question about, then what's the adoption?
Yeah.
Adoption is still necessary.
Okay.
Because when one is baptized, they are baptized into an assembly of Christians. That means they ascribe to the doctrine of that congregation or that church.
Well, our church or any church.
Any Christian church.
Yeah.
And so when one now wants to come to our church and be part of our congregation and our church, then an adoption is necessary to allow them to publicly profess that I now want to belong to this church, to this assembly of Christians. I'm leaving the other one, and now I belong to this one. And that they also then would profess that they ascribe to the doctrine as we teach in this church.
Yeah. So when someone's getting prepared to be adopted, per se, and they're having a conversation with their minister, they would need to confirm that the minister would need to confirm that if they were baptized before, that it was in the name of the Triune God, like you're saying, and with water. Right. And if not, an adoption wouldn't happen, then they would be baptized.
They would be baptized.
Okay.
We would say they should be baptized in this way that is what we believe is the correct way.
Okay. And then after they're either baptized in the church or adopted, then that actually opens up the way for the other two sacraments.
All the other things, yes.
Okay.
Holy communion, holy sealing, all the benefits of the church are open then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So adoption is not just an old thing. It's still important. And still
it's
needs
very
to be
important.
Done.
Before one is sealed,
Yeah.
they must be either baptized or adopted.
Mm-hmm.
And and the adoption, effectively they're saying, I believe Jesus Christ is active in this church.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that when we take communion here, it is his body and blood. I believe the word is a divine word. I believe in the apostle ministry that he sent. That's basically what they're saying. It's just simply saying, I believe here now what's going on in this church.
Okay. All right. I think that clears it up nicely.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of For Your Journey. If you have any suggested questions or topics, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter. This has been For Your Journey.